girl was pretty, maybe in her mid-20s. She didn't belong out here in the darkness of California. No, she was some podunk country girl who wanted to be an actress. The next Julie Garland or Betty Davis. Mama must not have told her the tales of the wild, wild west filled with angry men and dark alleys like this one. People tend to forget that LA is still the wildest west there is. Amidst the glitz and glamour of Hollywood town, and the ignorant citizens that flock to the center of it all, the darkness that breeds in poverty and squalor thrived. Men who knew nothing but how to kill and drink. This poor girl saw a screen and wanted to live in it. She could have done it, I suppose, acted in the next great film, put her name in front of the Chinese theater. But then again, every pretty girl in a tight dress can do that. That's what all the sleazy drunks at the bar tell them. Sure, baby, I can get you into the pictures. Let's go back to my place and talk it over. Most are smart enough to say no, but every now and then, there's one that's stupid enough to say yes. That's where I come in. There shouldn't need to be a homicide detective. That's a perfect ideal and hypocritical oath of being a detective. You're fighting to put yourself out of business. Being a detective is trying to stomp out everything that a detective is needed for. Stopping the criminals and destroying crime. Stop the crime and you have no need for the investigator. But the perfect ideal is often the stupid one, the unachievable one. So here I am at 3:30 in the morning, September 1st, 1942. 3 years ago, Germany invaded Poland. Men are fighting to stave off invasion, and I'm looking through a dead girl's purse. It almost seems shameful, but I have to do it. There wasn't any clue for me on the girl. I can see how she died. The coroner will tell me anyway, in more complicated terms. But I knew it plain and simple. She got shot in the gut. The piece was at least a .45. Some guy trying to get lucky and she wouldn't give. So he got mad and shot her. What does interest me is the slightly dented lipstick container, the broken cigarettes, and a small card with the name of a local bar written on it and the number 101442 on the back in pen. The cigarette was near the girl, broken in half. What was strange about it was that there was no lipstick on it, but there was a wet stain. A piece of broken glass was in her hand and blood dripped off from the edge. I was headed to the bar that the card was from, the Pulp. The bar was empty. The sign said closed. This was the kind of place that a country girl ends up at in this city. Seedy and full of bad men who can attract them. I tried the handle, but the door was locked. This was the bad part of town for sure. I decided to case the area around the bar, look for clues, and then radio in a search warrant. Let the owner sleep a little longer before knocking down his door. Within a few steps of the alley behind the pole, something was glistening in the lamplight. I bent over to investigate, and sure enough, my instincts were right. Blood. I drew my iron, a heavy number with a full mag of .45. I slowly walked around to the alley and called out, "Who's back there? Come on now, fella. I seen the blood. You can't hide forever."
Look, just come out. I'm alone. I know what you did to that poor girl. You shot her dead. But you didn't want her dead, did you? No one can kill that kind of beauty. You can come out of this in better shape than you are now.
In the distance, a cat was meowing at the night. The air stood at a standstill in that little alley. The lamps didn't seem to want to reach their fingers into the condensed space. I could barely see the other end of the street. I had no doubt that this was the same man responsible. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you, or the judge, or the jury, but I just knew. That kind of gut feeling you get while looking at a corpse. And I was left looking at a dead man in the alley. This was no crime of passion or methodical murder. It was a spur-of-the-moment lust gone wrong. The wrong guy meeting the wrong dame. And I was left at the end of it with a full mag of 45. This was the end to this story. To anyone else, it may not be a thrilling tale of a hero fighting for a girl. But to me, it's a tale of my revival. I had been deadened by the city around me, by the battles I had won and the battles I had lost. Left alone in the alley, I realized something. Without these occurrences in my life, without the constant death that penetrates every aspect of me, I would be just another poor bastard walking on the street. I needed to see that girl because I needed to feel alive. The apathy of the city had turned me into a walking dead man. The only thing that could revive me was seeing someone else slipped away into the void that lies beyond our existence. I knew that saying that makes me sound like a madman, but it's true. When death is all you see, you begin to need it to exist. And I needed death. I needed it more than a starving man needs bread, more than a drunk needs booze. Through death, I was alive.